Once children have mastered letter sounds, there are 4 components to becoming a proficient reader. The first is having a strong oral vocabulary. The second is mastering the code of the English language through phonics teaching. The third is being able to read a passage fluently. And the fourth is being able to comprehend that passage and having enough knowledge of the world to give context to what the pupil is reading. These are all interrelated, and during the course of the year, you will help your pupil build these skills. One skill we suggest you hone in on is fluency. Fluency is the ability to read a passage with reasonable speed and expression so that it sounds natural. When reading fluently, the pupil doesn't need to expend too much processing power on a particular word and can think about the story in its totality. The key skill a pupil will need in order to read fluently is called word attack. Word attack is learning how to read words that are not easily read by sight. For these words, the pupil needs to have some form of phonics-based strategy in order to sound out the word. As we covered earlier in the training, children in UK schools are taught to read using a system called phonics. Phonics focuses on the sounds of letters in a word rather than their alphabet names, as it is easier for children to understand. Remember that the children you're supporting will be using specific vocabulary in the classroom to help them identify parts of words. If you're able to use some of this vocabulary when working with your student, that can help guide them. This vocabulary can seem rather technical to someone who is unfamiliar with early reading instruction. We've included a PDF with links to videos about phonics and a glossary of terms in the knowledge base. When working with your pupil, you may find it helpful to use these terms. Here are a few examples of some of the terms pupils will be familiar with. The first is phoneme. Each letter sound unit is known as a phoneme. For example, the word snap has 4 phonemes: s, n, a, p. The second is blending. Children will identify and blend sounds to make a word. When working with your student, try saying, "Let's work on the sounds in this word, and then we can blend them together." Lastly, we have digraphs and trigraphs. These are 2 or 3 letters which together make one sound, such as the E sound in the word seen or the I in sigh. There are 3 different types of digraphs. Vowel digraphs like seen, tool, or sneak. Consonant digraphs such as the sh sound in shine. And split digraphs. Split digraphs work as a pair to make one sound, but are separated within the word. Words like late or right are examples of a split digraph. Let's look at a simple sentence. I got a flag. The pupil will need to know I and a by sight. However, they are unlikely to know the words got and flag by sight. In order to understand the sentence, the pupil will need to know some kind of phonics strategy to sound out the word. The word attack strategy that is used in all English primary schools is for children to sound out f, l, a, g, using single sounds or phonemes, and then blend them to read the word. So, when a pupil comes across a difficult word, encourage them to use their phonic knowledge and blend the phonemes together to read the word. Some pupils struggle to remember when to use which sound for a letter, so be patient with them and encourage them to experiment when a word that they are reading does not sound right in context. While we want pupils to give the word a try, we don't want them to dwell too long on a word they just can't seem to identify. Ask your pupil to continue reading the sentence and return to the difficult word. There may be a cue in the story that will help the pupil identify the word. If they still can't manage it, please do just read it for them.